Put the kettle on.
So, Joanne, I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the Inner Wheel Club of Coventry to our meeting. Thank you for joining us. I was a bit worried in case we'd lost you because I know that you're going to be away, but please feel free to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about CAFOD and Live Simply.
Wonderful, lovely. Janet, can I just ask that I'm able to share the screen if possible?
I will do that. You should be able to share your screen now, Joanne.
Okay, wonderful. Well, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning as part of your meeting. As Janet said, my name's Joanne O'Meara, and I am one of 2 community participation coordinators working for CAFOD, the Catholic Agency for Overseas Development in the Archdiocese of Birmingham. And my role as a community participation coordinator is to manage volunteers that volunteer for CAFOD in various capacities in parishes, in schools. It might be campaign work across a number of deaneries in Birmingham. So the deaneries I cover are North Staffs, Stafford, Lichfield, Walsall, Wolverhampton and Dudley. Now, I'm aware because of the time frame, this is very much a short time frame today. So it will be just sort of a brief overview of the Live Simply programme and just an introduction to CAFOD. So I'll just be covering the main areas that CAFOD works in. So again, it will just be an overview. Certainly for more information, I can send links on to Janet, should you need to find out more links or information in terms of our work. So the Live Simply Award, I don't know if any of you have heard of it, is actually an opportunity for Catholic parishes and schools to become involved in the principles of Live Simply, which means living in solidarity and sustainably with poor communities. Pope Francis, in his document Laudato Si, Care for Our Common Home, I'm not sure if any of you have heard of that document, asks each of us, it's an individual call for care for our earth, which is our common home. And this can be addressed in a number of ways, and principally really through the Live Simply Award. There are many reasons why parishes and schools and communities should undertake the Live Simply Award. Again, taking up Pope Francis's call to challenge work for justice and peace and caring for creation among one of the main reasons. It's important also to recognise the work that communities and parishes can do towards rebuilding and sustaining creation. And it also acts as a sense of community in terms of bringing parishes and communities together in a common endeavour, and showing leadership also in Catholic communities. I don't know if any of you know, but actually the Live Simply Award is created and administered by CAFOD, but also supported by the Justice and Peace movement and many religious congregations. Other churches, for example, churches also have an equivalent award that's called the Eco Church. So I don't know if any of you have heard of that award, but that is a comparable award. In Scotland and Ireland, I believe that the award is called an Eco Congregation. So you may wonder, what do you do? How do you achieve the Live Simply Award? Well, there are 4 simple steps to do that. So if you are in a parish, you would talk with your parish priest to get his support, or alternatively in a school, that would be talking to perhaps an executive leadership team or the head teacher, and then sign up as a Live Simply organiser to set up a Live Simply group. And all of this can be done via the CAFOD website. Then the next process is to undertake a self-assessment to help create a Live Simply action plan. And this action plan has 3 significant actions and 6 supporting ones. And the action plan simply outlines what you're going to do as a Live Simply community or group to achieve the Live Simply award. So then you would then register by sending CAFOD your action plan. And then the third step, which is probably the biggest step, is putting your plan into action. And again, there's no time limit to do this. It doesn't have to be completed within a certain amount of time. It's more important to work towards the goal that you've outlined as a group to achieve the Live Simply award that's tailored to either your parish or school community or community group. So once that action plan has been completed, or you think you're near completion, you would then apply for the award, which would involve contacting CAFOD when you are ready for assessment.
Yeah.
So the sign-up process, again, I can provide these links to it if you need them. But as I said, we do have the cafod.org.uk/live simply, where you can find out more information. We do have a wealth of resources available. We have a short film on the Live Simply award, which I'm actually going to be able to show during this presentation to you. We have all the forms you need that I've just spoken about. So that's the Live Simply action plan form. You can also join a Live Simply e-group and CAFOD campaign group to receive up-to-date information. So there is support throughout the process for you. And there are also other resources on the website to support you in your Live Simply journey. In addition, as I've just referenced at the bottom, a Live Simply guide and a Live Simply prayer to encourage others in your community on the Live Simply journey. So again, the self-assessment and registration. As you can see, this picture was actually taken pre-COVID, and the group are presenting their evidence to the Live Simply assessor. So you might ask what the assessors would be looking for when they're doing this, when they're doing the assessment. So there are 3 aspects in terms of a plan of action. And really it's looking at that, the heart of what the Live Simply commitment is, which is a committed team that are taking part in the Live Simply plan, hard evidence and ongoing plans. So these must sort of incorporate a spiritual dimension, which includes living simply, living sustainably, and living in solidarity. So as I said, there are over 100 Live Simply ideas. There are probably more than that now. And there are, again, 3 significant actions which can be undertaken under each heading, again, available via the link on the website. In terms of assessment, oh, sorry, apologies, in cathedrals, there are representatives of many groups that have taken part in the Live Simply award. And this group is actually from St John the Evangelist Cathedral in Norwich. And this was actually the 2nd cathedral to be awarded the Live Simply award. Travelling a bit further north, St Benedict's Parish in Leeds have their Live Simply plaque taken in this picture. Like so many Live Simply parishes, they have internalized the key messages and principles of living more sustainably and in solidarity with poor communities. The lady in the middle of the picture with a pink jacket on is called Trish. She is also the Live Simply coordinator and has given talks and supported other parishes nearby in their Live Simply challenges in her assessment role. Schools involvement. Our Lady of Lourdes Primary School in Southport was actually the first school to receive the Live Simply award. And as you can see, here are the school community celebrating receiving their award. A little bit closer to home, the Newman University Birmingham also received a Live Simply award, and Charlotte Bray, with the participation of fellow students as part of a CAFOD Step in the Gap year-long programme, encouraged the community to gain the Live Simply award here in Birmingham. So I'm just going to show you now just a very short clip, if I'm able to. about the Live Simply Award.
Live Simply has enabled me to name something in my faith that I've held in my heart for a very long time.
Apologies.
The link was made between our care of this patch of earth and how that needed to be much bigger globally. I think the allotment has been a huge inspiration because it's a beautiful place. We were giving the food to the elderly. There's a lot of excitement around it, a lot of enthusiasm. The little ones love it because they've got their own little actions they can take and little seeds to plant. And all in all, it's been a great kind of glue to bring us all together.
I think Pope Francis, by living what he says, has inspired a lot of people. Very much inspires us to think the simple things brings more value.
He's gone down here.
We've had some outdoor liturgies in the church grounds, and also to encourage families to think about wildlife in the garden. I do think any parish would be able to achieve the Live Simply Award. We've had our Live Simply group since 2013, but what I particularly like is the way the Live Simply targets bring in different people in the parish.
Projects and activities are sort of based around 3 themes. So some of them are spiritual and prayer based, some of them are around campaigning. We do quite a lot of petitions and raising awareness of issues, but we do an awful lot of fundraising. I've enjoyed so many of the things we do anyway have grown into other things, and that there is a purpose which ties them all together. I think that's very powerful with our parish community.
Looking back, we now know we've achieved an awful lot. There's a lot of that has become commonplace to us now. The big issue, or the big challenge for us now, is to look forward and go, okay, how do we build on that? How do we develop that? So what's become the norm then becomes the foundation that we can build on.
We've got about another 2.8 miles to slip road.
I hope you enjoyed that brief overview in a visual form of a parish's journey for the Live Simply Award. Now to the part of the presentation that covers CAFOD and what we do and where we are. I don't know if any of you know much about CAFOD, but we work with some of the most hard to reach communities across Africa, Asia, Latin America and the Middle East. And we work wherever the need is greatest with people of all faiths and none, working in over 30 countries around the world. Our mission is inspired by gospel values, and as part of the Catholic community in England and Wales, we come together in partnership with others, both locally and globally. And this is what we strive to do, to reach those in greatest need, to save lives and relieve suffering, to support and enable people and communities and our local partners to be artisans of their own destiny, to also challenge and transform structures and behaviours that drive poverty, vulnerability, inequality, injustice and exclusion and harm the natural world, and also to educate, enable and inspire the Catholic community of England and Wales to act in solidarity for the common good. Our story began in the Caribbean island of Dominica in 1960, where children were dying because of a lack of even the most basic health care. At that time, a small group of Catholic women in England who were members from the Catholic Women's League and another women's group called the Union of Catholic Mothers, UCM, heard about their needs and decided to raise funds for a mother and baby clinic programme. At that time, they persuaded the National Board of Catholic Women to support them and organise what is now sort of become part of our twice yearly tradition to organise a family fast day. And that first ever fast day took place in February 1960. Their target at the time was to raise £500, but they collected over £6,000, which in today's money equates to £100,000. After that, things started to move incredibly quickly. In 1962, when the bishops of England and Wales met together in Rome on the eve of the Second Vatican Council, they approved the documents establishing CAFOD as the official Catholic organisation for overseas development and humanitarian relief. The mission with which they charged CAFOD then is the same mission that we have today, to promote human development and social justice in witness to Christian faith and gospel values. Through the generosity of the Catholic community over time, CAFOD has been able to continue its work and develop its focus into a more holistic approach to tackling poverty from the outset. So CAFOD's prime focus was on development, but sustained development through projects which would help people to help themselves. In the 1960s and 70s saw the start of CAFOD's work of providing emergency relief in the aftermath of both natural and man-made emergencies, and then staying on beyond to help people rebuild their lives. Since the 1980s, CAFOD's work has also included the vital work of education within our schools and colleges in England and Wales to help children and young people understand the root causes of poverty and how they all have a role in tackling poverty. Moving to the 1980s, we actually also became involved in campaigning to tackle the underlying causes of poverty. All of this work is inspired by our understanding of the teachings of the Church and our mandate to work for justice. The year 2000 saw a name change for CAFOD from the Catholic Fund for Overseas Development to the Catholic Agency for Overseas Development. And in this way, we continue to work to empower people to have more control over their own lives. The problem with Fund is that it focused our attention on raising money to support projects and express solidarity through funding. And being an agency moves us from being an organisation that raises money to an organisation that is focused on increasing the agency of others. We know that no one wants to live on handouts, so we ensure that at the heart of our work, we empower communities to find their own solutions to poverty. And increasing this agency of others leads to lasting change. Our mission is to challenge and transform the structures and behaviours that drive poverty, vulnerability, inequality, injustice and exclusion, and harm the natural world. We will support and enable communities and local organisations to be artisans of their own destiny, and we will follow Jesus' example of ensuring that the quieter voices are heard so that a better world is achieved together. In 2015, I referenced this at the beginning of my presentation, Pope Francis released Laudato Si. For CAFOD, this document is a game changer. Pope Francis shows us how the cause of the environmental crisis are also linked to the causes that drive poverty and inequality across the globe. A new integrated approach is needed, where a vision of development should enable all of us, human and the earth, to flourish both now and for generations to come. One of our original founders, Elspeth Orchard, of the first fast day, explained that we were very keen that we should do it not just as a giving thing, but as a praying thing. We should really make an effort to remember people, not just by giving them food, but by doing what we could do to support them. We weren't doing anything special, but we were just doing what we thought we ought to do, remembering that we are all God's children. Most importantly, our faith calls us to love God and to love our neighbours in every situation, especially our sisters and brothers living in poverty. Following in the footsteps of Christ, we hope to make present in our unjust and broken world the justice, love, and peace of God. Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne, for your presentation.
You're very welcome.
Interesting. Oh, brilliant. I can see you again now. So thanks for that. I'll just remove spotlight. Has anybody got any questions or anything to ask to Joanne? Can you hear me there?
Yeah.
Well, I think some of the churches, I think Ethel and Judith can confirm that you're doing the eco project. Is that right?
Yes, yes, we are. Yes. And at the moment, we're thinking in terms of sort of insulating the roof space, and I'm not quite sure about the the general feel of the church. So it is comfortable, at a comfortable temperature, and using the least energy.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're making a start.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And it's all these things that make a difference. And I think when it's sort of as a community initiative or a parish initiative, it widens and what we know, we learn from each other. And it's that common endeavour that we all have a part to play. And sometimes it can feel that, gosh, what can I do? I'm only one person. But I think these initiatives that you've probably found in a group, you can do so much more together as well, which is an added bonus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Anybody
we've also switched our gas supply, I gather, to octopus.
Oh.
It doesn't mean much to me, but I understand it is an eco-friendly group. No, yeah.
Wonderful.
Thanks for that, Joanna, and thanks for your time and support and coming to talk.
You're very welcome.
It's
very
nice
welcome.
to know what's going on around the world and what charities there are, because we support as a group a number of charities.
Yes.
And we like to sort of find out more about what is going on and how we can help in different ways. And like you say, the Live Simply or the Eco Project is one way that we can all do a little bit and hopefully in the long term help others. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. And